This is the Realty Classroom Podcast, episode number 184. You're only 3 people away from success. Are you a real estate agent who wants to turn your job into a business without sacrificing your lifestyle, but you just can't seem to find the right plan or any plan to help you get there? Well, then, hey, you are definitely in the right place. I'm Danny Griffin, the founder of the Realty Classroom and the host of this podcast. And to help you take immediate action to get started in the right direction, I've created a free jumpstart course for you that's waiting at freeagentgift.com. All right, let's get started. You're only 3 people away from success. Could this be? I'll tell you, the reason why this comes up this week is because I do a lot of listening for the most part, certainly reading, but usually I try to read books that are more recreational. And when I'm listening and learning, especially when I'm at the gym, I'm listening to success teachers, or I'm listening to somebody that I think really has it going on. So there were a couple of people. One, first, kudos out to Alex Hermosi, who runs a really great YouTube channel, and a couple of my business partners and I are paying close attention to what he's doing strategically. And so I started to listen to one of his videos, and one was what he learned from a billionaire. And it was this, that there were only 3 people away from success. Well, then don't I start listening to Jim Rohn, who's one of my favorite success coaches of all time, and Jim starts talking about the same theme. And of course, Jim, like a lot of the success teachers, he references the Bible and he references Zig Ziglar and a lot of those guys in early success. And I say guys, ladies, sorry, because that's what they are. And when I listen to them, they always come up with these similar wisdom themes that seem to echo effect into the modern day and age and training. And that's this number 3, and it's magical in the Bible if you do any kind of historical looking into it. And so I started to think about that. What about me? Do I have those 3 people? So when I looked at my business, I realized that I do. I really have 3 really great people. I mean, they exaggerate it and they say superstars. And I'm more of a Michael Gerber fan, where the concept of great systems help people become extraordinary and superstars in their work because of a good system first. So putting that together, I started to think about it, and I have more than 3, but when I look at my own book of business, let alone the real estate agency, and I'll explain in a second, I have 3 great people. I have a really great telemarketer at the moment. I have had, and for a long time now, 18 years, an extraordinarily good client care manager who's used a lot of titles, but taking care of my listing clients with me. And then lastly, I have a really great closing coordinator. And then there are others who are great too. My wife plays the chief financial officer role. And now as we expand the agency across the country as a virtual agency, big news for the Griffin, going across the country, licensed in 5 states already, taking what we know that way. I have a fabulous recruiter. So I'm actually past 3 at this moment, but it was the 3 in those positions over the last even 24 months where finally the systems and the right people began to collide into it, because I've had talented people, but they weren't superstars. They weren't the greatest people for me or the situation. Now they're in place and I can just feel things accelerating. Literally just took 5 listings in probably 4 weeks. You know, when you figure out when we started and when we got them, and that's an accelerated rate. So I can begin to see things that are really working. So how could I give you advice on how to get into this mindset that you need people? And I know some of you might be listening. What are you talking about? I just got my license. I'm not there. Yes, but you can also have 3 people. I mean, you could have me, for example, as a free mentor sitting here giving away some of the best stuff for free. I mean, you could include that as a person to help you succeed. You could take my plan, etc. So it doesn't always have to cost you. You just have to be resourceful in thinking differently. So whether you have the money to buy people's time and get into that independent contractor relationship with them, or maybe you like them as an employee, you really want to look into this leverage of people. And that's the first point here in the podcast to help you. 1, stop going it alone. Stop. Just stop doing it. Especially all you top producers, you're just insane. You just keep pretending that some business is going to magically appear, or that you deserve it. After all this time, I should be further along. You know how many times I've heard people say that to me? I mean, it's several hundred, if not over 1,000 times, because I've been coaching for so long and en masse. coaching the masses, meeting people at conferences, hearing that all the time. Well, I should be further along. No, you shouldn't. You have no right to success. Success is something that is worked at and earned constantly. But if you keep going it alone, I will guarantee you'll ebb and flow with the economy or your energy. Hear me say that. You'll ebb and flow. The tide will come in and out for your business based on your energy or the economy. Economy goes up, you do well. It goes down, you struggle. You have great energy, your business goes up, it stinks, you don't, right? So that's really what I'm talking about here is this up and down when it's you. Stop going it alone. And again, even if you're new to the business, even joining the right brokerage, when our agents come to us at the Griffin now, we say one simple thing, because we have a plan. Go look elsewhere, we tell them. Go there first. Before you come to us, we have a plan, and that you don't have to go it alone, because our company, or me, if you want to personify it, we created a plan for you. That's one person with a plan or with an expertise, right? That's an example. And then you need three of them. Because it's this collection of when many people meet, and that's three or more meet in this group, amazing things can happen, right? But before you go out and find these people, you just have to take a general look at what moves this real estate business, what moves it. Right? So let's talk to you individually for your book of business versus an agency. And I'll cover both in case you're a broker manager, whatever you might be. But what moves the business, and this really comes from, I just can't give him enough credit, is this is one thing in the E-Myth that Michael Gerber poses, is how does the business really work? So what moves this business is listings, right? Or our listings. I mean, that's what happens here. We need listings for this business to even exist. So what moves your business should be listings. You really have to think about this right off the bat. And we teach our agents that are brand new. They just got their licenses. We say, of course, you are going to know people in your sphere of influence who want to buy something, and you're going to be excited, and you're going to sell them a house. And yes, that's going to work. But as a business person looking for people eventually to help you, you start off by recognizing that the acquisition, maintenance, and closing of listings is what moves the business. So when you understand that, it will begin to help you choose the types of people that you need. Let that sink in, right? If the listings move the business, then you have to think about what three types of people or what three people could help me move further into that part of the business, could make it more predictable for me. What does that look like, right? So that's a key pertinent question here. The next point here is, who's really good at doing what moves your business? And is it even you? I mean, that's a really tough question for a lot of top producers, because we fancy ourselves the Jack or the Jane of all trades, right? We think we can do it all, A through Z. Well, I do it all myself. Okay, awesome. Keep doing it yourself until there's nothing left but skin and bone, okay? There's no bravado in going it alone. Yes, keep it small, keep it all. I hear all these goofy quips. That's not a business. Right? The premise is that when you're growing a business, it needs systems. It needs people to help you run those systems. They can be microeconomic people that you can find online. That's the coolest thing about the digital age, is you can go find people that you can afford because you can buy them at an hour allotment that makes sense for your business. Right? So that's the coolest thing. I mean, back in the day, I was like, I got to hire, a full-time admin, and I have to pay them all of these benefits and everything. And I had two of them. And it really, when I look back, it was like, oh my gosh, I had two great people, and they definitely helped me move my business back then. But boy, it was expensive. So it limited who else I could add. And it did ebb and flow with the economy. See, I do all this. I'm not preaching here without doing. I still am very active in the business, very active, both as a broker salesperson with my sales machine team, and those three people are in there. And then there's the agency side of it, where the first pivotal person is there, and there will be two others, I'll guarantee you, that will come along. I'm just trying to figure out what moves that part of it and who they are, right? So who's really good at doing what moves your business? So let's take listings for a second, okay? Number one, you got to find listing prospects. If acquiring, managing, and selling a listing is what moves it, okay, look at that holistically. Get up above it. Somebody has to get in contact with potential sellers and tell them why you, and get them a copy of information that would help them understand why you're a good choice, right? So that's a telemarketer. Some people call it inside sales. I prefer the word telemarketer now. It makes a lot more sense to me. Somebody who's really good, right? Here's the question. Who's really good at doing what moves your business? Who's really good with the phone? Inside sales doesn't say that right in the title. So when I'm out there looking for a really good telemarketer, I want that word tele and marketer in there. Market what? Market my plan. I want you to be able to pick up the phone. I want you to call any context for a seller. Expireds, FSBOs, probates, seller leads, referred sellers, whatever it might be. Circle prospecting around just listed, just sold, and on the list goes. There are all sorts of contexts for people that could be called, and I need a good telemarketer to help me identify acquirable listings. The next thing is, really, I play the role myself because what I'm really good at is giving listing presentations and explaining my plan, explaining the math, explaining what they'll walk away with, understanding their problems and providing solutions. So as the actual agent in the house, I'm great. But then to the right of me, after the listing is acquired, I'm not so great at the nurturing part of and the organization part of getting all the post-showing feedback, organizing showings, getting all that data, getting it to the sellers, packaging it up, delivering it to them on a regular basis so they feel fully communicated with, they feel fully cared for. And a lot of you top producers are neglecting them because you don't have this really good person focused on client care management. That's all they do, right? Laura. So I have Kathy up front on telemarketing. I have Laura sitting there, with client care, and Danny's in the middle doing the actual listing presentation and negotiation. Laura and I will share that from time to time. And then, of course, the closing coordination. I mean, I've always had, and by the way, some of these people have changed over time. I've had good people in the seats. Some of them have changed, but now it's Randy, and Randy is my closing coordinator extraordinaire so that she's able to cross the T's, dot the I's, make sure all the contract is in line. So there they are, Kathy, Laura, Randy, my three people in my sales machine. And that's what I like to call my personal book of business, my sales machine. So it allows me to go in there and specialize. And it frees up, talk about time management. My gosh, it allows me to do far more in the field. I'm freer to go see things. And plus, I'm able to troubleshoot. And I love doing open houses myself in those listings too. So I'm free to do all this stuff. People say, well, where do you get the time? Because I have three other extraordinarily good, talented people who in each part of movement, they're experts at it. They're really good. Sure, do they have to be trained by me in the certain way that we do things? Yes, but then they were way better than me. Naturally, it's their wheelhouse. They're better at it. So I don't want to go it alone and pretend I'm good at all those things. And I know listings move my business. So I just limited myself. I made myself smaller in the role, and I created these other roles for other people. All of you that are sitting out there going, I just got to sit down and make some phone calls for myself. You're not going to do it because you're not a pro telemarketer. You don't have the discipline. I mean, look, some of you will. That you're a very small minority that have the discipline, and you like that, and you're good at it, and you have a system to do it, and that still gives you the time to go out and list it. But my gosh, after a certain while, you're going to be successful, and you're going to drown somewhere. The ball is going to get dropped on service somewhere, and it's usually client care management that you're accumulating these listings, hoping that someone from MLS books a direct showing, and you don't even have to go, and you sell it, and that's a disaster, right? See what I'm saying? So it's these people that really help me end up moving these folks through here. And we can handle more volume. And these people, because they're being handled so in such an organized fashion by experts, I hear all the time people tell me, oh, your team is so great. This is so great. People don't sit there and go, well, you left me alone with these people, right? No, they don't say that. I say to them, look, I have a team of 3 experts that are extraordinarily good at what they do, and that frees me up to be right here for you. So if you need me or something's awry or when the negotiation is being looked over, you know it's me. I'm overseeing the marketing, the negotiation, all the things that are critical. And these gals are dynamite at what they do. So I set them up for success too. I don't sit there with some insecurity. Well, I'll step in. I don't get in their way. I get out of their way. In fact, our huddle on Monday mornings with these great people, what can I do to help you this week is what I ask them. That's it. Monday morning huddle is, what can I do for you this week to help you? And now, if I were to go further, what moves the growth of the company is the acquisition of really good agents. And when I say really good agents, most of the people that we're hiring, or when I say hiring, there's so many words you could use. We're offering our services to these independent contractors who just got their licenses. So most of them are brand new. And we love that. It's great. But I couldn't keep up with all of the inquiries that were coming in once we started to open up the floodgates. So Lauren ascended into recruiter extraordinaire, and she is so good at it because she follows the system. And then when I know she doesn't have a system in place, I build it for her. I make sure it's there. I support her with all of that systemization that now allows her to do this at volume and not feel stressed out, right? And so there's a 4th person now. So you can go beyond the 3 key people to really start to expand. And that's what happens in a big organization. But really, your superstars remain your superstars. They really are your lead people. And that leads me to the final point here is that when you start to bring people on, and remember, like I said, that's me in an evolved way. All those roles must be played by you, yes. So in the beginning, you might have to do things alone. But like I said, be resourceful. Choose a great brokerage that you can leverage off of their systems that already exist as part of the agreement with them. Their teaching, their training, we call it TCM at our company, the Griffin. Training, we give you very specific systems and we train you in those so that you never feel undereducated. Coaching, you go out, you do some things with those, you bring them back to me, and I coach you and help you with adjustments. Mentoring, instead of just cattle call of just, hey, we sponsored you in and we left you. No, we sponsor you in, and that sponsor is absolutely 100% for your deal maintenance mentoring. So that when you're in the heat of the moment at 8 at night, you can call the Batman phone and you can get help from somebody, right? That's what I mean. Go looking for the proposition at a brokerage so that you know how you can leverage some stuff that is already existing to help you be successful before you can pay for it, okay? But the point I want to really emphasize at the end here is you begin to bring people on. Be grateful for people. This is a hard thing for top producers. There's so many top producers are just dictators and, well, they better do it the way I do it. Or, what? Be grateful that after an interview, what you perceive to be a good person would give of their time to you. Well, I'm paying for, I know, but you keep missing the point. Be grateful for these great people because I am. I wake up every day and I want to try to treat them like royalty. Now, if you went back and you looked at the philosophy of Mary Kay and Mary Kay Cosmetics, hire more women and treat them like family, that was a pretty good motto, and it worked super well for her, right? I have some great guys on the team. I have some great gals on the team, and I'm grateful for all of them. I truly am humbled that they would come and they would trust me, and I give them a crazy good effort. I will meet them wherever they need to be met in their journey, and we will put resources in place, assuming they're good people. I'm with Buffett. Hire for integrity. If you don't have integrity, not interested. But if you have integrity and you're lost on my watch, we will be there for you like you are the king and the queen of England, right? That's our attitude here. All right, let me go back and summarize this. I think this is really a cool subject, and it just kept permeating all week long. You're only 3 people away from success. Only 3. But you have to first realize, first point, stop trying to go it alone in the real estate business. You can't do it all yourself. 2, once you realize that, just understand what moves your business in this business. It's listings. 3, who is really good at doing what moves your business? Well, that means finding the listings, converting them to clients, making sure you care for them, and closing them too. You have to find help in those areas. That's where you're looking for your 3 people to help you. And lastly, once you find these people, be grateful for them. Be grateful for them and treat them like royalty. Let me summarize it by saying this. It's hard to believe that you might only be 3 people away from transformational success. That's what this is. However, this is a principle that dates back many years historically, way back. We talked about biblical reference. The key is to first figure out what really grows your business. Figure that out first. Admit what parts of that you don't do well. Then hire people that are great at doing those things. Telemarketer, client care, closing coordinator. Then the real secret of all of this is to be grateful for those people and treat them like royalty. All right, remember, you can take immediate action and get started in the right direction or a better direction if you're already in the business. I wish somebody slapped me early and got me in a better direction, but I had to find it the hard way. I've created a free, simple business plan for you. It's really what to do. It's a bone structure, and it's sitting there at freeagentgift.com, freeagentgift.com. Also, don't forget to subscribe to the podcast on iTunes, Spotify, or wherever you listen. We're in most major places. And we also post our coaching content on YouTube, so don't forget to subscribe to the Realty Classroom channel. We'd also appreciate it if you would share our content with other real estate agents just like you so that they get the help that they need. And remember this, I say it all the time when I sign off. Can you hear everybody saying in the background? Nobody's coming for you. Nobody. So go get to work on your business, and we'll see you in the next episode to help you do just that. Thanks again.